Alright, bam, what's good, YouTube? We're back. Alright, before y'all click off, because you guys got horrible attention span, bam, 11K profit on the day, $11,117.84. Two sell positions to the downside. Obviously, you can see the chart. I'll show one more time. Bam, there you go. Hopefully, you can see. Hopefully, you can't. So with that being said, let's get into it. How we did it, recap, and note. This intention of the video was to be a live trade. I did screen record bits and pieces of me entering this trade and did record bits and pieces on my computer whilst this trade was going on before we actually hit TP, our thought process. But the reason why I'm not uploading it is because it was such a messy situation to the point to where I was just like, you know what? This is not the trade that I actually want to do a live trade on, even though I do have the footage. Will it get uploaded? Maybe, most likely not, if I'm being real, unless it is unlisted. And if I do unlist it, then I'll make a community post to the link if you want to go watch it. But anyway, with that being said, let's get into this. What, why, how, what went down, low-key. I'm going to be so real. I was supposed to enter this trade earlier at 6:22 a.m. If you want to see my bias, here is right here. I actually put the time, but that's our bias on the day. And you can see our little thing right here. And if you are watching this video and you did not watch my Sunday technical analysis, go watch my Sunday technical analysis. Why? Because I literally said today would be a winning day following market structure. I literally called out this entire move on Sunday, so no one can say, oh, it was just by accident, right? So actually getting into it, what happened, what took place, why should have Lonnie entered earlier in the day, and yeah, this is going to break it down, what, why, how, what we can do better, because there's definitely something we could have done better. So getting into the trade on daily. Okay, let's bam. Daily, we were bearish. Why? Because daily was following 4-hour, and 4-hour broke structure to the downside right here. Remember, you need to see proper break of structure, alignment markers, bam, right there. So we had broken 4-hour structure to the downside. This is actually where I wanted to enter. 6 a.m. candle, break to the downside. Did I enter? No. Why? So let me explain this. I wanted it to be a live trade, so I was like, you know what? I'm gonna wait till I can actually get on my computer, break down the analysis, do everything for you guys before entering on the live trade. But I was like, you know what? Because someone requested it. Shout out to my boy Carl. He requested it, but I was like, yeah, you know, I'll just wait. Am I ever doing that again? No. If I see setup, I'm executing. Why? Because let's be real, we don't trade for each other, we trade for ourselves, right? I love that my trade recaps help you guys, but let's be so real, we're trading for ourselves. Let's be real for a minute, you know, real talk. So if you see a setup, you don't see an A+, and you know you're trading with your other homie, your homie's telling you, no, hey, you shouldn't be trading with friends. But with that being said, he's like, no, you take that setup, do whatever works for you. Why? Because at the end of the day, this is your money, this is your life, this is your bread. Let's be so real, right? But you know, and use what you can in order to help others. That's the point. So, and that's exactly what I'm doing. Using what I can to help you guys. Should I have taken this trade at 6 a.m.? Yes, pre-market. Most likely. Why? Because the setup it allowed was such an A+ setup. Let me actually map it out for you. Our entry would have been right here. Stops would have been this area actually would have been a little higher like that. Such a good setup. And our target would have been still the exact same thing. We probably would have made around 16K on this, some stupid number, even though 11K is still a stupid number, but somewhere in that area. But anyway, with that being said, the reason why I wanted to enter on this in the morning was because price retraced for a 1-hour fair value gap before rejecting and pushing price to the downside, also within this overall 1-hour order block of us sweeping liquidity, taking out 1, 2, and on 4-hour 3, 4 highs. Let me show you that. Bam, bam, like a ninja. That made no sense. That made no sense. Anyway, after price broke structure to the downside, literally all we were waiting for was a valid 1-hour break of structure below these lows. And I was like, you know what? Okay. At around 7, 8 o'clock, it broke structure. So I was like, bam, we're ready to go. 16 lots. Let's go. Bam. You could see actually we almost did get stopped out. But let me tell you why we adjusted our stop loss like this. So we had a little bit of wiggle room, but let me tell you, in the beginning, did I think we were going to get stopped out? To be real, yeah. And let me explain why. Because I realized that, you know what, maybe I should have waited a little bit longer for a more so retracement in order for an entry. Remember what I said in my last video? The reason why we had gotten stopped out was because we did not wait. It is so important to wait. But with waiting, my stop loss was at a valid point to where it was in this overall 4-hour order block. And now at this point, 4-hour broke structure to the downside. This overall 4-hour order block to the point to where it was like, okay, if price retraces, you know, maybe, not maybe, we'll most likely see that drop, which is exactly what we've seen. Pushing price to the downside. Price, you know, just chopped for a while, did its thing, then eventually broke to the downside. Pushing price lower, which we knew it would, because that's what price does. It has to follow market structure, and simply that was it, just retracing in order to follow market structure. I'm sure if you wanted to go in and be like, oh, this is equilibrium. No, equilibrium is a 50% discount within price action. You could have been like, oh yeah, you could have, yeah, whatever, you know, whatever the case is, right? We did hold this trade after hours into next day London or Asian session, which is where I'm recording it right now, and that's when we hit TP at the gym. Funny enough, so I'll show you. Actually, I think I recorded a little clip on my way to the gym. I screen recorded a clip. Actually, here, let me full screen just so you guys can see. Bam. So this was us in profit, and then the next clip shows the trade. Then do I go? That's almost TP. To be real, the broker was so odd today. Is it gonna do anything? And then wait for it. Bam, bam, bam. And bam, yes, sir. That's hard. Tell me that's not. That's hard, bro. Yeah, that was our gym fit. We're on the way to the gym. Anyway, with that being said, I did record that for you guys. So, see, you got a snippet, but that was obviously before we hit take profit. But apart from that, shoot, I mean, just had our withdrawal available on Friday. We have another withdrawal available on Wednesday. So, you know, we're just going to make sure to continue playing on the proper bias. I mean, shoot, what can we take away from this trade? 100% trade entry. Remember how important a validating stop loss is? One of, if not the most important things. If I would have gotten taken out on this trade, obviously I wouldn't have had any emotion toward it. In my small screen, I wouldn't have had any emotion toward it. We just would have been like, okay, what did we do wrong? What did we do right? Whatever the case was, right? But I mean, I'm sure I would have been a little upset to the point where I was like, okay, maybe I should have entered earlier. Why? Because it allowed for a better retracement to the downside at 6 a.m. How can we learn from this trade? Because there's definitely something we can learn. We can 100% learn by executing when you know to execute. There are times where, you know, your market intuition or whatever the case is showcasing you, okay, everything is in confluence right now. This is an A+ setup, take it. But there's times where we don't. During times like that, we need to execute. Those are the times where we need to execute. We need to take those A+ setups. If it follows within your bias, if it follows within trend and everything of the sort. And in this sense, I wish I would have entered at 622? Yeah, but we didn't. And that's, you know, the reality. You know, it is what it is. Next time we go into the markets, we'll make sure and we'll see, okay, is what we're executing on an A+ setup or whatever the case is, right? Even if it's pre-market or whatever, you know. But apart from that, this was a great trade. Since there is no news tomorrow, Forex Factory, we're going to go in and we're going to look and we're going to see, okay, if there's an A+ setup, we'll most likely take it. It most likely won't be a big win. 100% not a 5-figure win. Probably gonna risk around maybe $2,000 on it. Nothing too crazy, just a little bit of money. Well, for my account size, because, well, my account's size, I have multiple accounts, multiple funded accounts. But with that being said, and this 200K account is one of them. So one of the few, and then we're working on our 400K funded. Well, we're going to be working on our 400K funded. We'll most likely have that before the end of the month. So, but apart from that, manage your risk. Go in. What can we take away from this trade? Hopefully you're listening, because I don't know the answer. I don't know the answer. You know what we can take away from this trade. I'm so sorry it wasn't a live trade. For everyone that was hoping I would post a live trade, eventually, yes, we will. But I will post the episode 2 of Intro to Printing Money, hopefully Thursday, somewhere in that area. But apart from that, tomorrow we'll go in, we'll see what market gives us. If it gives us anything, and if it doesn't, we'll just walk away from the market, get our withdrawal Wednesday, actually tomorrow or whatever the case is. We could request anytime. And go live life, which I recommend all of you to go do. So apart from that, I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Continue to hit your TPs or SLs, but learn from them. Make sure to learn from your trades. Have no emotion to them. Even take profit, even SL, no emotion at all. Be robotic with this, because that's how you're able to do it professionally long term. I love you guys. I believe in you. Keep going to pursue your dreams. Keep pushing past those mental barriers, because there are so many of them psychologically. And those are the barriers that eat you up. You know, they make you want to quit. They make you want to give up and just call it quits. But don't quit. It doesn't matter if you have 1 million people supporting you, or you have just yourself. Keep going. You got a dream in mind, you got a goal in mind that you are willing to achieve. Go out there and achieve it. It does not matter who tells you cannot achieve it, because I believe you can achieve it. God believes you can achieve it. You just have to be willing to go out there and achieve it. If you want it, you got to be able to go out there and get it. So that's my motivational speech of the day. I love you guys, and I thank you so much for watching the trade recap. If you didn't, go watch Sunday Technical Analysis to actually understand why we broke down this trade. Anywho, love you guys. See you in the next video, and peace.